على الانضمام لي اليوم. Thank you for joining me today. Hiba, just to start off with you, tell me about the night that the sarin gas happened, the chemical attack.
Okay.
Where were you? What did you smell? What did you see?
Okay. That night, we were up late. Me and my cousin preparing some activities for the kids for the next day because we used to work with the kids. At that time, we saw on the internet some videos about chemical weapons hit the Eastern Ghouta, and we were shocked. We were watching it carefully, and then we were told that chemical weapons also hit my town. So at that time, we didn't believe. Although we were hearing the shelling all the night, but we couldn't recognize that it's a chemical weapon or it is a normal shelling. So after half an hour or maybe 45 minutes, we start feeling dizzy. We start our eyes start drop tears, and our nose started running, and then we realized that there's something strange in the air. So we rushed to the other rooms and we wake all the family up, and we told them to put some scarves, weighted scarves on their noses and through breezes through them. After an hour, we rushed to the medical center, which because we used to be a volunteering nurse, and we know how to give some aids. So we took our cameras also, and we went to the medical center.
You said we. Who are you with?
Me and my cousin Amina. Yeah. On the way, the shelling was so strong and so heavy, and so it took us 25 minutes to reach there. However, it took us 5 minutes usually. On the streets also we saw people rushing to the medical center, holding kids, holding women, and everyone is asking what's going on. There is a lot of shouting on the streets. When we get there, I was very shocked. I didn't even imagine someday I will see that view. We saw dozens of people on the floors, women and men suffocated, and dead bodies also. They were some of the people who were injured were suffocated in a very strange and frightening way. I remember myself, I was screaming, and I don't remember what the words was, but I was traumatized. But when we reached the door of the medical center, a doctor told us that Amina and Hiba go downstairs and try to help.
So did you go to the hospital wanting to help, or because of your physical condition?
No, to help.
To help. So when you woke up your family,
yeah,
during the shelling, because it happened in the night, correct?
It was at 5 a.m.
So you woke them up to make sure they were okay?
Yeah, and to let them know what's going on. So.
And then once you knew that they were okay, you knew that you needed to go help. So you went with your cousin to the hospital.
Yeah.
What did you see in the hospital?
The hospital is a basement. It was 300 meters. It was full of people, crowded by hundreds of people. A lot of people on the floor, and the medical staff in a very rushed conditions. People who were trying to wake their families up, to wake their kids up, screaming and shouting and crying. It was horror. I can't forget that view. We asked a doctor what to do. What can we do? He told us just go and take their clothes off and put some vinegar on their noses
to wake them up.
Yeah, and do some CPR. And then we asked them what to do. Then he told us that's it. And then he gave us some atropine shots and told us that don't give them to all the injured people, just for the severe cases. So we tried to do what they told us to do, but it was very painful, the feeling of helplessness because you can't. People are dying, in a very strange and painful way, and you can't do anything for them, just CPR, just vinegar. It was so painful to us.
Did you know right away that it was an attack? It wasn't an accident or a coincidence?
No, we knew that because the Eastern Ghouta was full of the same attack and bodies, and a lot of horrible photos were uploaded on the internet, so it wasn't an accident.
Were you ever afraid for yourself when you were leaving your home to go to the hospital that night?
A bit, but I was afraid about my brother also, about the family, the kids, the whole town. We all thought that day it's the doomsday. It's the final day.
It's August 21st?
Yeah, August 21st.
And did any of your family, any of
some
them die?
cousins, some friends, some acquaintance, and after about 11 o'clock, the medical center was full of bodies, and so we have to move about 40 bodies to another house next to the hospital. At that house, they told us that don't bury all those dead bodies because they may be under trauma and they may wake up again. So we gave them atropine shots. After a while, that house get chilled also. So those bodies as if they died twice. So we have to bury them after that.
So you didn't know if they were dead or not?
No, they were dead, but we had some hope that they may wake up. But after the shelling of the house, we lost every single hope. Yeah.
And Mohamed, were you in Syria on August 21st?
No.
Yes.
What was that night and day like for you? Where were you?
طبعا نحن في سوريا تعودنا على
In Syria, we got used to scenes of killing and destruction, and that day, that day was one of the worst days that we've seen.
أشبه باليومي يعني ممارسة صحيح إنها صعبة لكنها كبيرة.
That day was a very
لكن ذاك اليوم
tremendous
كان
day.
يوم رهيب. كنت في صلاة الفجر.
Several guys came to him and knocked on his door and told him that the government had gassed or had dropped chemical weapons on the eastern Ghouta area of Damascus. He works with many human rights organizations, and he has a institute called the Al-Afaq Institute for Strategic Research, and because he cares for human rights and humanitarian aid, he went with several of his friends to the eastern Ghouta area right away.
طبعا ما كانت المرة الأولى اللي بيشهد
This
فيها
wasn't his
الكيماوي.
first time seeing chemical weapons attack.
المرة
Before this, he
10
has seen chemical weapons
مرات
attack 10 times.
لكن هالمرة كانت
However, this time was
شيء
something,
فظيع وهائل.
unimaginable,
لما
and
وصلنا
he has
إلى
never seen
زملكا.
anything like this from before.
So there were other attacks before the August 21st attack.
نعم.
Yes.
And you witnessed those? You
بتاريخ
saw them?
19/6 في مجزرة.
June 6,
وفي تاريخ قبل 19/6
and before June 6.
لكن نسيت التاريخ
Oh, I'm
بالضبط
sorry,
مسجل عندي.
June 19.
إيه.
Adram, which is a city outside of
تعرض
Damascus,
فيها
in the air
مدينة
carried some
عدرا
of the gas
للقصف
to Duma, where he is
الكيماوي
from.
والرياح
And he said that him and his family were
إلى
exposed
دوما.
to some of the...
كنت أنا وعائلتي من
It
اللي
was
تعرضوا
the cases were
للإصابة.
light,
طبعا
not like to the
الحالات
degree
كانت
that he
خفيفة
saw
يعني ما مثل
on August 21.
لما وصلنا
When
إلى
they arrived to
زملكا
Zemelka,
كان المنظر رهيب.
the site was just unimaginable.
الشوارع ملأ بالجثث الأبنية.
Corpses lying on the streets.
في
Yeah,
شيء
he couldn't
يعني أنا
imagine that
ما تخيلت
that,
المنظر.
these are
إنه
people
هؤلاء
who are
بشر
doing these
وناس
these stuff.
في
This is
إنسانية
like
ولا كذا. تخيلت
completely lacks
المنظر
of
كأنه
humanity. To
أحدهم
him, it seemed like
استخدم
these were
مبيدات
people that were like
حشرية
spraying
وهي ذباب
pesticide,
سقط
and all these
الأرض.
corpses lying down were like
الغرفة فيها
just
ذباب
pests
وحدا
that
بخ.
just fell.